buenos dias, amigos. Today I am going to Guachimontones, which are ruins about an hour and a half outside of Guadalajara. Waiting on an Uber right now and going to the bus station to catch the bus there. Let's go! If you're like me and prefer to be on your own time, I'm going to show you how to get to Guachimontones by bus, but there are group tours from Guadalajara, which is much easier. So this isn't the nicest bus station I've ever been to, and I already made a mistake. So if you're gonna do this, learn from my mistake. I bought the ticket once I finally found the ticket counter. There's a bunch of different ticket counters, so you have to search for the one that's going to where you want, and there's like 2 different sections of this bus station. So like I went through the first section and I didn't see the sign for the town where Guachimontones is. And then I realized there was another section of the bus station, so I walked over there and I found it, but I bought second class tickets on the River line, and I should have bought first class tickets on ATE line. So that just means that the bus is not going to be that nice. It's probably going to be plastic seats, so it won't be the most comfortable, but whatever. So learn from my mistake if you're going to do this, and it's going to cost 60 pesos each way, and I did buy a round-trip ticket, so whatever, we'll see how it goes. I probably should have just bought a tour from Guadalajara. There are tours right from the city that'll pick you up and take you, but you know, I like to make things as complicated as possible for myself. Okay, status update. The ticket I bought, the bus was going to be 30 minutes late. So she told me if I wanted my money back, that she would give me my money back, and I could go with the other bus line, which had a bus right now. So that is exactly what I did. I bought a ticket on ATE, the first class bus, which honestly I'm much more happy with. And now we're on our way. Whee! The bus will make a few stops along the way. You want to get off at Teuchitlán. Just ask the driver to let you know when you're there. Bus will drop you off in that small town of Teuchitlán. You can take a taxi right from the station to the ruins, but I want to check out the town a little. Ok, muchas gracias. Que tenga buen día. Hola, buenas tardes. Para ir a las ruinas, ¿cuánto costará? 70. Ok. Sí, gracias. Hola, buenas tardes.
El ingreso es de 30 pesos por persona.
Ok.
Yes. Aquí tienes.
Gracias.
Ya el museo se encuentra enfrente y este camino nos lleva al sitio arqueológico.
Ok.
Adelante.
Gracias. Definitely hit the museum first so you can watch the super informative video so you know what you'll be soon looking at.
A society distinguished by its style of ceremonial architecture manifested in series of concentric circles.
Museum is actually surprisingly really good and informative and nice. That video taught me a lot. Let's go check out the ruins. The sun is blazing. I thought by taking the taxi I would avoid any physical exercise. But I was wrong. But the views, if you turn around, are really nice. Situated on a hill overlooking the mountains and Lake La Vega, this 2,000-year-old archaeological site contains some of the most uniquely built structures in the world, circular stepped pyramids called Guachimontones. Archaeologists refer to the culture who built them as the Teuchitlanos, referring to the town below, but we don't know what they called themselves. Like many archaeological sites in Mexico, a lot of questions remain regarding the site, but it is estimated that 40,000 people once lived here. On the 47-acre site, there are 14 Guachimontones, 3 ball courts, 2 major plazas, and numerous house mounds, although there are even more outside the protected site. The largest, still intact Guachimonton is Circle 2, nicknamed the Iguana. It stands 60 feet tall and has a diameter of 325 feet. There are 4 archaeological features of a Guachimonton: the patio, which is the circular platform that forms the base, the banquette, with a ring-shaped platform that surrounds the patio, the altar that sits on top of the circle, and the platforms, an even number of quadrilangular platforms numbering anywhere from 4 to 16. There is also evidence of tombs beneath the circles, but we don't know which came first, the tomb or the structure. I love spots like this that there's hardly anybody here at all. You have the place to yourself. It's not a huge, it's not really a well-known tourist spot. So it's just great when there's nobody here, because I hate people. So archaeologists don't know that much about these people and this site. They don't know what they were called. They don't know what they called this place, but we know that they had really interesting burial traditions, their tombs that they've uncovered. We know what kind of tools they used, which was obsidian or volcanic glass, which is extremely sharp, and the Aztec also used that because there is a volcano nearby where they used, actually it was like, I think I heard in the museum that it was like the biggest source of volcanic stone anywhere, like the 3rd largest in the world, I think is what I heard. We know that this is the 5th construction of this circular pyramid. In other words, it's been built there's 5 layers inside, so it's been built on top of one another, which is common with other Mesoamerican cultures. And in the middle, in the center, at the top, there's a hole where a pole would go inside that they would use to climb up and perform some kind of dance ritual, which 2,000 years later, today, there is a tradition around Mexico, the voladores de Teuchitlán, I think they are, that you can see in a lot of tourist attractions where they climb the pole and they do this flying dance, like they tie their legs with ropes suspended from a pole and swing around. It's super cool. And we also know that they built chinampas, which the Aztecs also used. If you've watched my other videos of Mexico City, you saw about how they built those like man-made islands in the water where they would grow crops. They would dig up the soil from the bottom of the lake bed and use that to build artificial islands to grow crops. And it was like a very fertile soil. I'm not Indiana Jones or anything. I just learned all this in the museum, so don't quote me on everything. Drawings that they have found, we know that these platforms that are all around this La Iguana, they call it, this pyramid, were actually temples. So there were all these temples all around. So this is the ball court, which they played a game that, you know, it seems like all Mesoamerican cultures played this type of game where you would have to hit the ball with your hip. You couldn't touch it with your hands or feet, and if you did, then points would go to the other team. But it wasn't like a game like we would think of a game. The game was used to make decisions. You know, they thought the gods would intervene through this game, and whoever won, it was because the gods chose that. Oftentimes it was used as like a court system where, you know, this was where the decisions were made, whether someone would be punished for something or whatever. And oftentimes the losers of this game meant death. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And this particular ruin of the ball court dates back to around the year zero. And from what I just learned in the museum, it was at the time of the year zero, it was the largest ball court in Mesoamerica at that time. I believe the largest one today is at Chichen Itza in the Yucatan of Mexico. Amazing. I love it here. This has got to be, well, this is probably, well, about a notch below the Great Pyramid of Cholula, which I think was my favorite archaeological site. But this is super unique, not only because of the shape, but the location, the views, and that there is nobody here. Yeah, it's just, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful here. I can totally understand why they chose to build the site here, because it's so beautiful with the views. I'm gonna go to a restaurant for lunch that is on the lake that's down here. And the restaurant I read about online, Monte Carlo, I read that is a really good restaurant. Hello. Hello. Want to come over here? How you doing? Oh, what do you think? Hmm? Walking down these desolate streets, these quiet streets, and the smell in the air and the animals reminds me of my family's house in Sicily. My father's family, they have a house in the countryside. They live in the city normally, but in the summers they go to their house in the country, and this reminds me of that. You know, the smell in the air. I don't know what the smell is, but there's some smell that is the same smell. I don't know if it's like the dirt roads or the animals, and just the quiet and the occasional crow of a rooster brings back good memories. It's very peaceful. I like it a lot. Hi. Are you friendly? Yeah, there's the tail. Oh, how about some pets? Yeah. Oh, look at you.
Celoso.
Tóxico. ¿Qué nombre tienes? ¿Cuántos años tiene?
Está chico, debe tener como 2 años.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, look at you. You getting your paw?
¿Y vas a ir a conocer otros lugares de aquí?
Sí.
¿Para dónde
Sí.
ahora?
Bueno, me quedo en Guadalajara y voy por Chapala y después Morelia, Pátzcuaro.
Sí. Ten mucho cuidado ahí en Morelia.
Ah, sí.
Está duro.
Oh,
Balazo.
perfecto. Gracias.
Okay. Que vaya bien.
Hasta luego. Every time I tell someone in Mexico where I'm traveling next, they always give me a warning to be careful. Sometimes Mexicans can be worse than the US media. Buenas tardes. Ah, buenas. Oops. Dead end. Let me try walking around. Finally found the entrance to Monte Carlo, which specializes in seafood, has live mariachi, and is situated right on the coast of Lake La Vega.
¿No va para usted?
Oh, sí. ¿Quiere acompañarme?
Mire, hay algo de este lado, o hay aquí arriba, o en la parte de abajo.
Al lado del lago, mejor.
Pues hay de aquel lado, o también.
I started off with empanadas filled with marlin, which is similar to swordfish.
¿Todo bien hasta ahorita?
Sí, muchas
provecho.
gracias. Gracias. That's good. Yeah, these empanadas are banging. And also some shrimp fajitas. These fajitas, it's interesting, they're served with crunchy tortilla. I think it's a tortilla, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what it is. But it's toasted or crunchy. It's not like what you would get in the US when you order a fajita. Nice. They're tostadas, which are tortillas fried in oil. So good. Walking back to where I have to pick up the bus, I think. I'm not 100% sure, actually. Hopefully I get back, because it'll be dark in an hour. Google Maps is telling me it's a 7-minute walk if I have the right spot. I feel so happy when I'm traveling to places and like, you know, don't know really if I'm gonna make it there or what's gonna happen. I just feel so alive and free, you know, like I'm just walking down this fucking highway right now. It's Mexican town. La-di-da, doo-doo-doo. But somehow, everything always turns out. Well, I didn't get that on camera, but one of the military police that's standing around with their machine gun or AR-15, I don't fucking know what they are, but I'm not a gun person, saw me like looking at my phone and like kind of looking around and was like, what's going on? What do you need? And I told him and he's like, oh, right there, goes there. He looked at my bus ticket. He's like, yeah, very helpful, very nice. No problems. You know, they say Mexico's super dangerous, but so far, in all my travels, I have not had any problems and everybody is always super nice and helpful. Buenas. Buenas tardes. A Guadalajara, al Central Vieja. ¿Sí? Ok, muchas gracias. Well, I made it. Back to Guadalajara. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Buenas noches. Stay tuned for my next video where I visit the super cute and colorful town of Ajijic on the coast of Mexico's largest lake, where tons of North Americans go to retire. I stay in the best Airbnb ever and shovel more delicious food in my mouth.